Hey, in the last episode of Super Me, you would have seen that I was having some issues with my leg. There was a pretty substantial bruise on there. We filmed that episode a few months ago now, and it's continued to be a little bit of a problem. I had to go to physio for a while, and I was having trouble walking for a bit. That all healed up pretty well, but then found a bit of a lump in my leg, and we thought it was an infected gland. So yeah, quite a few more tests, ultrasounds, all that sort of thing. The last tests came back with some, I guess, slightly worrying results. So I've since had x-rays on my leg and chest, and tomorrow I have an appointment with an oncologist. So depending, I thought I'd film this now because I don't know how things are going to go. If it all goes well, in all likelihood, you probably won't see any of this. You might see a little bit. It depends. But if it doesn't go so well, this episode is probably going to be called Super Me versus Cancer. Which is a pretty awesome fucking name. Hey, it's been a couple of weeks since the last video that I filmed. At the time, I didn't know very much. When I filmed the video, I hadn't really told very many people at all. I told my wife. She was obviously, she was a bit upset. My wife's Canadian. She was talking to her family back home. Her sister actually flew in just to sort of help out and support her while we were finding everything out. So that was like amazingly nice. And that's, I guess, the thing we found right through, is that friends and family have been super good and super helpful. So thank you, all of them. My oncologist, Philip, was the day before Christmas, so that was a great a great gift. I didn't want to, if the news was bad, I didn't want to be telling everyone on Christmas Day, so I let my family know and about it all. So I went to the oncologist. People who have been will know it's pretty freaky. I was waiting in the waiting room, people talking about going to chemo and all the medication they had to take before they arrived, and how they were going to be there for 5 hours, and a lot of really sick looking people, a lot of really old people, a lot of people talking about how they should have stopped smoking, and it's like, should I be here? I don't really feel like I fit in. But I saw the oncologist, and yeah, the news is pretty good. So there was a lump, which is right where that bruise that you saw in the previous episode is right where the lump is. So we found it probably a little bit earlier than we would have otherwise. I don't have any other tumours. I've got to get checked for melanomas and stuff, but so far the two doctors that have previously checked me have said that's all okay. Yeah, no cancer in my blood, which is probably the best thing. No chemo, no radiation, none of that at the moment for me. I'm just, basically will have to go in for surgery. I don't know too much about that yet. I'm waiting to hear from the surgeon. I should hear from them maybe even today. Heading off for my little holiday at the hospital. So, yeah, this will be fun.
What's going on? Oh, hi, Brendan's camera.
Here for my surgery. Check out my sweet room. Just hanging out in my surgery gown. All finished, I think.
How did it go?
I think. Good. I just want to stay asleep.
Did the surgeon say anything to you while you were down there?
He said, "Hello, how's it going?" And I said, doing pretty well, man. And then I fell asleep. I don't really remember. It seems like I only went not that long ago.
Yeah, you were in there for a while.
I know, I was looking at the clock. Yeah, I am so hungry.
Is there anything particular that you want to eat?
Donuts. Get to go home this morning. Yay! I'm gonna try and walk over to the sink.
Okay.
I really needed one large supper and one extra large supper. Since I'm a bit too big for my foot. Oh, that's alright. It's not too bad. So, but
You feeling woozy?
doable. Not at the moment. I'm just going to stay standing up for a minute.
Okay.
So I'm back home, and I'm pretty well at the moment stuck in bed. This foot being part of it, they took a chunk out of it to check for melanoma. But I mean, I got a pretty good setup. I got the TV, I've got the PlayStation. Then over here, I have my drain, which the nurse has just been over to change, so there's not much in there at the moment. So yeah, that's pretty gross. Goes into my leg. I'd show you, but it's basically impossible to do that without flashing you all, so I'll show you my scar once it's all the wound stuff is off. I've got a nurse coming to empty my bag. I need help to go to the toilet at the moment. It's just too tricky to navigate with the bag and the pulling down trousers and all that stuff, plus barely being able to stand up. So I'm not independent in that way. I think every doctor and nurse in the Launceston area has seen my penis. So that's while they've worked away right next to it. So it's not a lot of privacy, and it's pretty full on, but it's going all right. So yeah, tomorrow I'm going back to yet another appointment. Just a follow-up after my surgery. I'm really hoping that they're going to take this out of me. I've had it for a week now, and frankly, it fucking sucks. It's been a pretty rough week, actually. Just had a shower before. I can't do it by myself, basically, because I have to cover all these parts of myself. I can't stand in the shower because I can't get my foot wet, so I've got to sit down, and we bought a garden chair for the to sit on while I was in the shower, and as I was getting up, it slid on the floor, and that one of the legs snapped, and I flipped over, landed basically on my head in the shower, and it's kind of it's shit not being able to give yourself your own shower, but then on top of that, there's all this stuff, and I just finding that I really don't like the person that I am when I'm getting upset about not being able to do it myself. And yeah, it's been a rough week. I'm really hoping that this drain comes out tomorrow, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to happen. I think I'm just going to be stuck with it for a bit longer. Basically, is draining all the stuff that comes out of my leg where I've had the surgery. I won't show you any lower than that. I think you can imagine. It looks a bit gross. But anyway, yeah, so this is the drain. I actually have a nurse that comes in and empties this. But being the weekend, she doesn't come. So I thought, out of interest, you might like to see how it drains. So basically, it's really, you lock off this. It's really actually not got a lot in it the last 2 days, which is good, because that means that I will get it out soon. So then you flick this one across, like so, and you can see all this lovely juice in there. Just squeeze it through. That all goes in. Yeah, they measure how much juice has come out of me in the last few days. So most of that was already there. Yeah, that's basically the drain in my leg. Yeah, hoping I will get it out very, very soon, because as you can imagine, carrying it around everywhere with you is a pain in the ass. So yeah, I got my drain removed today. It's gone. I started out the week pretty good with the drain coming out of my leg, so that was a really positive start to the week. I think I sort of quickly realised, like, the drain coming out did make things a lot easier, but I've also realised as I've become more active how little I can walk, like for how little distance I can walk at the moment. I hadn't really come up with the drain, but I've really noticed it now. I've just had a lot more pain this last week. I've taken a lot more painkillers this week than I had previously. So the cancer is removed, and as far as we can tell so far, it's gone, and it was contained to the single lump, which is totally gone, and they've removed around it. So that's all looking really good. There's about a 1 in 3 chance that it'll come back, and if it does, then I guess we just cross that bridge when we come to it. I have a PET scan coming up in 2 weeks. If nothing comes up in that, then I'm looking pretty good. It's just a case of having PET scans every 6 months. The PET scan actually sounds really cool. As cool as any of this stuff sounds. I got a call from the lady, and she was going through all the details of it, and she goes, "Oh, finally, I just need to mention to you that for the 6 hours following your PET scan, you're going to be mildly radioactive. If an animal was to bite me following the PET scan, I mean, we talked to Dr. Lucas, but who really knows what could happen? Get bitten by a cat on the way out. I could be falling off roofs and landing on my feet in no time." But yeah, my walking is what I'm trying to get back into now. It's disappointing. I can't work at the moment, and so obviously no leave, no money. It makes things hard, but overall, I think I'm going well. Getting out and about a lot more. Definitely better than I was a week ago, for sure. So yeah, today you'd think things would be going pretty well, because obviously all the tests have come back and the cancer's gone for now, so you think it'd be good, but the reality of it is this is probably the last couple of days have probably been the worst I've been feeling for a lot of this time. It's hard knowing that you're supposed to be better now, but you still can barely walk, and you want to go back to work, but you also know that you can't do it. You've been off work for a couple of weeks. Well, no, nearly a month, which means that things like money's starting to run out, and I have got bills and things to pay. And the thing is, it's not that big of a concern. I know I have family that'll help me out. There's people in a lot worse situations, but I just having to ask is horrible. It's not something that I like to do. I've been putting off pretty much all the other Super Me stuff because I can't handle the fact that at the moment I'm not able to do it. It's just, I've got another PET scan next week, which I know probably isn't going to have anything in it, but it's still scary that it could. And knowing that there's like a 1 in 3 chance that it's just going to come back again in not very long, it's it's really shit. And I just sort of wanted to show one day that it wasn't such a good day. Because it's really hard, and I know that other people have it much worse, and I've overall been really lucky throughout this whole thing, but it's just shit. The whole thing's fucking shit. And I'm over it, and it's just... I had the PET scan. Unfortunately, there's a spot. I need to go back to the oncologist to, basically have some more tests. But it's all a bit scary, and it's just kind of one of those things where I thought all this was nearly done with. I'm sort of walking, and this is sort of a little bit of a kick in the balls after all that.
There's a couple of little spots that both my surgeon and my oncologist are a bit worried about. So basically we've got to wait 4 weeks and have another scan, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, the waiting is going to be the worst part, I think. So it's the day of my scans. Before the scans, I have to drink 3 of these. I've already drank 1, so I've got 2 left to go. They're pretty gross. I thought it might be interesting. So see, here we go. So nasty. So all the scans for today are done. CAT scans done. Blood tests done. Got a couple of these babies. And now we just wait and see. So I haven't done one of these in a while because I sort of just got a bit sick of doing them, to be honest. Basically, every test that I've had so far has come back inconclusive, and it was getting to be a bit much, and I had just stopped filming them for a bit. Month or 2 probably. This week I'm going for another PET scan because every other test we've done's been inconclusive. There's 2 spots from the previous one that they're worried about, and at the moment it was looking pretty likely that the cancer had spread, but with the last few being inconclusive, I guess that's positive. But yeah, it's obviously worrying. Good evening, Super Me fans. It's been a little while since we last spoke. But actually, there's been some really good news since then. So there were 2 spots that kept popping up on all my scans, and the doctors were pretty concerned that that was cancer that had spread. The very last test that I got showed that those 2 spots had actually gotten smaller. Cancer doesn't do that. So that means I am cancer-free. The 2 spots were just reacting as a result of the infections that I'd been having in my leg. They've finally calmed down, and with it, a lot of concerns have gone away. On top of that, I have been fitted for my brand new super stocking super tights. Actually, it's a compression stocking that stops my leg from swelling up into a giant mess anytime I walk anywhere, but still a win. And this is only the first generation of my compression stocking. I'm getting an upgrade pretty soon. Before you know it, it'll have springs popping out of it and bat radar, anything that you could possibly imagine. Or it might just continue to hold my leg together, which would be good too, because that means that I might be able to start doing some physical stuff again, and that means, hopefully, the return of some more Super Me episodes. And on that note, myself and Nick recently started shooting one, so hopefully the time between this chat and our next one will not be quite as long. thank you to everyone who has helped me out in the last nearly a year. Yikes. My wife Sally, you were amazing and you've helped me get through this. My parents have been amazing, and all my family in general, my grandparents as well. My Canadian family, Liz and Sandy and Jillian for flying over, and Alex keeping a good eye on me. All my mates, especially Cameron and Jared for bringing me food and burgers and all that kind of great stuff. Also comic books. Side Nicks for keeping an eye on me and motivating me to keep doing these things. And yeah, everyone. You're my superheroes. And that sounds really, really, really lame. I didn't think that through. I'm sorry. Sumi's back, baby!